It's a King of Swag production.
Weird Dane, I ain't tryna blow up. Promise when I make it, I'ma be like so what? I'm posted with my guys, you already know us. Dane is a stranger, I got aroma.
This is DJ Toasty Z. Dana is off tonight. He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday. You already know. Where'd that sample originally come from, by the way?
It's a news blooper like on YouTube. So, which I'd seen a long time ago, but I don't know why it never struck my mind to use it as a sample. And then my friend Maggie actually told her boyfriend Finn, and Finn was like, "You gotta use this shit. You have to use this Dana is off tonight thing." And then it happened. Essentially, this dude on YouTube, a news blooper, the whatever it's called, the cue card, the teleprompter he's reading, he skipped the line and he said like it's supposed to be like, "Good morning, I'm Ken, blah blah blah. Dana is off tonight." Like a California man was set on, you know what I mean? And he just like missed a line when he was reading the teleprompter. So he was like, "Dana's off tonight. He was murdered." Like he just skipped a line, and so it wasn't me. It was him who did
for
it.
sure,
It wasn't
for
manipulated.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I had to start it off that way. I normally start it off with "You Already Know," but I had to start it off with classic. And like I said, I need to give you a proper introduction. Multi-talented rapper, producer, sound engineer, video director, producer, video game soundtrack creator, show producer, skit creator. Some might even call you a comedian.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a comedian, or just a funny guy?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a comedian, but I definitely dabble in comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
I don't know. Probably not.
I feel like there's elements of that throughout your music and stuff like that, like just humor.
Totally.
It's more subtle than that, though.
Humor is a big it's a big thing to hit that people don't always think to hit because maybe it's not cool or something. But it's just like it's like sadness or happiness. Humor is huge, so it's fun to tap into. It's a feeling that people feel.
Yeah, for sure. It is a powerful feeling. So, like I said, we got Weird Dane. I don't know if I ever said Weird Dane in the studio. If you don't know, now you know. And I'm glad we can finally make this work. I know we've been, going back and forth for a while, but I'm glad we could finally make this happen.
Linkles
and the Binkles.
Linkles and the Binkles, man.
So yeah, you've always been one of the most, I feel like, underrated members of Dark World. I just feel like not that you're necessarily underrated, but I just feel like a lot of people don't really understand how talented you are, and just like the wide array of talents where you can kind of do everything. You do some directing, you got the music stuff, like I said, you got your own like comedy sketch show that you did, like you've done a lot of things, and you're multi-talented.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're taking note of all the different shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess I was like a lot more like behind the scenes for a while. I've always rapped, like me and Lucas have always just been like rapping and shit, but we were also doing other music that wasn't hip hop.
For sure.
And the majority of like my like art, I guess my like art in its purest form, I was putting into that energy into like bands and stuff. So when we were rapping and Dark World was starting to become, the hip hop side of it was becoming serious, and we were really starting to invest effort.
Burples.
Started to put effort and emotions into hip hop music. I was doing that more as like a producer early on. And then after a while, I figured out started to figure out what it was I wanted to do.
Yeah.
As like an MC or whatever, like a singer.
For sure.
I was a little behind the scenes for a while. Like I wasn't like releasing like content as like me, because I wasn't feeling like I wanted to be a rapper or do those things. Like now I do.
Was it more like did you feel like was it just like a want, or was it like a confidence thing where you were like, I don't think I'm that as great of a rapper, or?
I mean, yeah, like it is. It's like why like there wasn't a question. It's like how could I be a rapper? Or why would I want to be a rapper? And for me, like you said, I also like to fuck around and just do a lot of funny stuff. So for me, it was like, for a while, I guess I would just rap for fun. It was just for fun, and I just didn't like take myself seriously. That's all. That's literally all. Yeah, and then eventually I decided I wanted to take myself seriously as a lyricist and a rapper.
For sure. And I think I noticed that like when you like listen to your early stuff, it's much more like, not that it's like purely comedic, but it seems more like almost like ironic rap. You know, like I think a lot of people start off when they don't think they're necessarily going to be a great rapper, they just do it for fun, messing around. But I've seen that transition where like, you know, your music still has elements of humor and it's funny and like things that make you laugh, but it's more like in like slight clever lines. It's less like trying to be ironic.
Yeah, before definitely. Transition. And I think a lot of people, it's like when they start doing rap or when they start doing music or any type of expression, a lot of times they'll start on a lower level or something, and or if for whatever kind of way it is. I think my lower level of starting was really strange because I was really learning and pushing myself to do really cool stuff with the technology, the music, the computer and the software, learning a lot and being really, I feel like, doing a lot of crazy shit with that. That's like impressive, but I was doing it to make things that were ridiculous or dumb, because what makes it so funny or so shocking is like the high production value. Dark World's always had like a kind of like a lo-fi like swag attached to it, but I've always like been the force inside of it that is pushing like extremely high fidelity, like ironically high fidelity. Like that's just been my thing. So
that's what I always found funny was like sometimes it would be like filmed on a VHS camera, like very like low tech, but then your edits would be like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like your edits would be so precise, and it's like, you know, you work with what you have, and it's like creates that DIY aesthetic.
Or vice versa, like there being a song that's incredibly low fidelity and really very not much effort put into the production of it, just kind of more of an improvisational thing, and then making a video from that's extremely high def. It's as if it was like the most well planned out thing. Yeah, exactly. It's like you take what would be like a bass freestyle type thing, and you just like make it the most. You're like, go extra hard for the video. Yeah, I think we do that on both ends in a funny way. Yeah, for sure. And like I was talking to some people, and like, you're so talented in certain areas that like, and don't get me wrong, I love your music, but I think that like the way that, you know, what in the end of the day, I think you might not become famous for or like known purely based on your music. I think like just like the talents of your video production and stuff like that might be the stuff that like ends up being the thing that, you know, the world knows you for. Yeah, I'm just trying to do everything. People, it's funny. People I feel like people want you or me to be certain, like fit you in a box. Have a thing. Yeah. Like, this is your thing, like easy to define. Yeah, I always thought growing up I would also, you know, kind of gravitate towards one thing that would eventually help me with in a career path towards that or whatever the fuck it is. Gravitate towards one thing. Yeah. My whole life I've always just tried to get good at like all this different shit, and you know, it hasn't changed. I'm just still doing all sorts of different stuff, and you know, that's how I'm making money now too, is I'm just doing different stuff, different elements of production or post-production or music or sound design. Like we can talk more about that, but for sure. I'm just kind of like for hire as me, you know what I mean? Definitely. And I'm also just, and that's what I do to create too. But at the end of the day, all that comes from music. Like I only do video because we wanted music videos for our music, and I only do design and know how to do Photoshop or whatever because of making album covers and for sure making vinyl fucking templates and learning about DPI and just file formats and stuff when I was in elementary school, just figuring out how to do all that formatting. So everything, every skill that I acquire, everything that I do was because of music or for music. And that's why at the end of the day, ultimately it's my passion, but I'm really excited about all the other shit I'm doing too. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing is like,
nowadays, especially like you can be a great musician, but you need to be able to market yourself. And if you have like that DIY perspective, you kind of have to know how to do everything. And I've noticed even with myself, because like with Hip Hop Made Me Do It, at this point, I'm pretty much doing it all myself. So I've learned, I've been doing all the video editing and stuff like that, and I don't think necessarily I'm going to be like an amazing video, director or producer.
But it's fun to get in the world.
Yeah, exactly. You get experience where I'm like, now I feel like I'm decent at editing and can put together something that's like half decent,
Yeah.
And it's just like building up those skills. And I think a lot of times, in this world, we think like, oh, we just view it in terms of like, this is my gig, like I'm gonna, this is what I'm gonna be good at.
Excuse me.
Versus like, you can be good at a lot of different things, and you have multiple. The concept of just having like a bunch of gigs and like side gigs and like kind of making money that way, rather than like, this is my one job that I do 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I think it's actually a social thing and not a economic thing or even much of a cultural thing. I think it's a social thing, meaning like person to person, people want to put you in a box. They're like just for their own organization of their head, like because it's hard to have really complex opinions about everyone and everything. So if you can in your brain be like, oh yeah, he's a rapper and he's cool, or he's a rapper and he's not good at rapping, or he's or she's a DJ and fakes it, and that's how my opinion on her is that she does this thing, or like this is my opinion about this guy. You know what I mean? People, it's easy for people to
definitely
in their the mental Instagram swipe on.
Oh yeah.
Just put someone in a box. But
for sure.
No, I think that for me it's all the same thing, like the making of the videos, the making of the music, and even the album covers and stuff that I do like that. Like it all feels the same. Like I apply the same parts of my brain to all the different things I'm doing, and it actually hasn't always been like that. It's gotten more and more like that the more I do it. So
yeah, because it's more of one thing rather than like viewing it as a separate thing,
as far as the actual like process of it as well, like the actual like I'm noticing similarities in my workflows between all the different and like the way I like organize it in my head. So
for sure, yeah, that's
for me
dope.
it's like I haven't been working on music that much for the last like right now I am, because we're in Western Mass, and me and Lucas and Eric and shit are going crazy. But I've been in LA living there, and the last couple of months I haven't worked on music really at all. Like at all. I've just been doing video, and sometimes I don't even notice. Like I usually work on music every day in some form for most of my life. I've just worked on music every day.
For sure.
At one point, opened my computer and worked on something, or just listened to it and made a mental note in my head, like I want to change that next time I like really work on it, or that kind of counts as working on it too. So I work on music every day. I don't. And then the last couple of months I haven't. There's been a million days I haven't worked on music because I have so much video work to do.
Yeah, for sure. But what kind of stuff have you been doing out in LA, like video work? Can you let us in on any of that?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it I've been doing like stuff that Jabari, who's like this amazing DP and he does a lot of stuff, but he's a great director of photography especially, and we've been working together a lot, and sometimes we'll set up some remote shoots where he does stuff because he lives in New York, and then I get the footage. So that's how we did Mickey.
Yeah, for sure.
That
was fire.
For Sarquan.
Shout out
Cal. The other one I did with Jabari, I was actually in New York for, was the Blay Vision. I don't know if you saw that. The British dude.
That was crazy.
Blay, shouts out Blay Vision.
That was some like grime shit.
Yeah, totally.
Where's that guy from?
He's from London, or near London.
Weird.
Yeah, and then at least I think I haven't been to England, so I don't know.
How'd that come about?
So my homie Kush Eternal, DJ, we met in Boston. He's one of my great friends, and he's also been my DJ for like a lot of Boston shows I did.
Yeah.
He just put me onto so much grime shit, and I've been a fan of this dude Blay Vision for a little while, and then Will was like, yo, he's playing in Boston, like just randomly.
Yeah.
And it was like a weeknight or something. I was exhausted. I was like, damn it, I really don't want to go, but
for sure,
it's crazy they're here randomly from England. Like it's a random tiny bar. Like let's go. We went and it was sick, and just chill with them. And
that's dope.
This dude Jay Kush, who is like working a lot with Blay, he does like, he's a DJ, he's an organizer, he's a really good dude. I've gotten to know him now really well. And we've got a lot of work in store. But yeah, we just literally smoked with them, and then they were like, we got a show in New York tomorrow, and I was like, let's do a video tomorrow, and they were like so down. So
that was like right in that moment, like kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah, I just showed them like my other videos, and they were just so psyched that we were fucking with them just in Boston, and
you hadn't even messaged him before or anything like that. You hadn't talked. That's dope. But
I've been a fan of his for like a year.
Yeah,
which is cool. And then there's a lot of other stuff. Like I just did 2 videos with Antoine.
I saw the previews for the cowboy video. Well, first of all, that song's crazy. Yeah. So I can't wait for that to actually come out, because I know you do amazing work. And he I remember at one point he posted like 1,000 retweets, and I'll drop it. And that was like months ago, and I was like,
he got 1,000 retweets immediately. I just hit him up. I was like, dude, it wasn't done at the time. Now it's done. It'll come out at some point.
He's just like, oh, but so yeah,
I hadn't edited. I hadn't even started when he did that.
Glad to see that.
Yeah, but I have a lot more. Doing a Jimmy Kafka video right now.
Dope. Yeah.
That me and Jabari did. Doing a Sly C video that Grayson shot when we were on tour.
Is it what song is that for?
For I can't remember what it's called.
Is the song out yet?
Yeah, it's on Nation. It's I can't remember. I just have some videos.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all the different Sly songs. I can't even remember, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And Lucas video for Doubt that Grayson shot. Grayson's in a lot of shit for me in Dark World.
Yeah.
And then I have this video with Branches and Big Wet that I just did. It's like a much larger production than most of these other ones. That's going to be epic. Jabari and Grayson, I got both of them on that one. That was in New York. I did that like while I was on the East Coast.
For sure.
Like this trip.
I feel like I've seen a lot of these in the Instagram story.
Yeah, sometimes I'll leak little or like behind the scenes iPhone footage of the shoots and stuff. Yeah, but
all right, I think I'm following Jabari as well, so
nice.
I think I just seeing whatever he's.
Yeah, there's a lot, and then a lot of smaller videos like along the way, like smaller meaning just less effort put in the production, but still equally awesome.
Yeah.
The Casino Theo video, you saw that? The Get the Guap.
Yeah.
He shot that. Like him and his friend shot that and sent me that footage, just one clip. And,
for sure.
I went crazy on that. That was really fun.
That's
and then, the other Switch, obviously, me and Eric just put out a song on New Year's.
Yeah.
And that was just like a day edit again. So some of those are pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm starting to actually dabble into some music videos as well.
That's awesome.
First edited and filmed DJ Toasty Z music video coming soon. So
nice.
Like I said, I'm always thinking about like how can I build skills, even if it's just because I enjoy doing it. It's like I might never be amazing at it, but I want to get into like producing a little bit, music videos, just for the sake of like skills that I can build up, like actually being able to like really DJ.
Yeah.
I feel weird calling myself a DJ if I can't like DJ.
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
But I don't know. I feel like there's so many like DJs that go out there and they just play from an aux cord. So I'd like to get like to the point where I could like DJ live and like have it sound good.
Yeah, you should at least get there's like a lot of free software,
you know?
like Virtual DJ, that's free.
Yeah, for sure.
So does it give me burp a lot.
That's what it does. That's what it tends to do.
Burp a lot.
So yeah, let's see what I have questions here. I'm sure we could go, just free ball most of it. But
yeah, whatever.
I was hoping we could talk a little bit about your musical origins. Now I know like in elementary school you were in a band, Who Shot Hollywood. I know you told the story about you guys opening up for the Fray, so I'm not going to make you recite that. But I heard
classic story.
I heard there's footage of that. Are we ever going to that footage ever going to see the light of day?
100%. I gotta figure out where it is. It's on a DVD. Classic DVD. Yeah, I'll find that
for sure. That'd be sick. And was that your like real like first musical endeavor or?
No, well, me and Lucas have been. That was like our first really independent musical endeavor, which is funny because it was a pretty big stage. But we'd been, before that. I mean, I was in 5th grade then. So obviously we were really young making music before that. So music we were making before that was more with our dad because he was just like really excited and giving us instruments and recording us, and he was psyched to have, you know, people to record living with him and tiny children.
Family band.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And then we were doing that so early that the desire to break off from that and do our own music from our dad was really premature, like that.
Exactly.
Like breaking off to do our own thing, like
when you're still in elementary school.
Yeah, it was in my 5th, 6th grade. We were like, I mean, because he never was someone who ever tried to force anything on us musically.
For sure.
He never wrote any song for us that we that we didn't want. From the beginning, when Lucas was a baby and Dad would be trying to help, like make the songs, Lucas would be like, no, like don't, no, not that, and say something else. And so that's always been, you know.
Yeah,
so he was never.
He was there to like help you along the way, but not be like, "This is how
just
you
to
should
help,"
be doing it.
and then let us do our own thing. But obviously, when we were young, he was still like managing us, the de facto manager, and you know, and then really when we started Dark World, when that started to happen, that was like entirely 100% independent from any type of like that was us going punk and
for sure.
You know, our dad really just like. Cause not being involved at all, but he wasn't really involved for most of the band either. He was just obviously our dad, so he was driving us and helping book shows and doing those things. But
because that's his background, right? He used to book for the Middle East.
Exactly, yeah. He used to book for the Middle East, so he's just a character people know in the music world, and has done a lot of cool stuff. So people would just be like, oh shit, Skeggy's kids have a band and they're really good. So it wasn't like if his kids, me and Lucas, had a band and we were bad, it wouldn't matter.
Of course.
So it wasn't like we were getting shows because of him, but we were introduced to the right people through that. So they'd be like, oh, Skeggy's kids have a band and they're sick. They can open.
Yeah, exactly. People think that, you know, just because, you know, your dad may have connections or stuff that like means you're instantly going to be successful. But it's like, it's more that like, they're gonna like introduce you to people, and if you're good enough, that you know you'll have opportunities. You know?
And even more to that is the fact that who he has any connections with, we stopped being relevant to us the second we were making hip hop music. You know, and that was the second that we started having more stuff going for us outside of anything that our dad could help us with, was when we knew we were on to that next shit. Because early on we were doing stuff that my dad was like, what the hell? Like as far as the rap shit goes, when we started, we were just saying horrible things. And then my dad was just like,
he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Like we were hiding it from him. 100% hiding it from him. All of us were hiding from all of our parents because they would be like, this is horrible. You know, we were like big into Odd Future. And saying bad things, and everyone was like, the parents were not on board, so we just hid it from them. And then eventually we got more refined and were able to bring all of the good songwriting stuff that we've been doing our whole lives into the hip hop sphere.
And then like I said, once you get to that point, then they see like, oh, all right, you're on.
Now all our parents love all our music.
Exactly.
And they did before. But there was just like a 1 year stint of us just making really vulgar, kind of just raw music in its rawest form. And it was just dumb for them. Like, it was awesome to us and people. And Amherst loved it. But
For sure. So like I said, you did the Who Shot Hollywood. What was like next in your like musical evolution? Where'd you go from there?
Next was our World, the band World that became Worms. And that's me, Lucas, and Chris.
That was the punk band that you were doing.
That was before Dark World, and then Dark World formed around Worms and the other music we were doing. So Worms, Who Shot Hollywood was like, it had another name earlier too, and Bullseye, and that was like 2005 to 2007, 8, and then Whirl was like late 2008, 2009. It was like 2009 to like 2000. Like 12, 13, no, 2012 we were strong. Like 2009 to like 2013 was like the really prolific era of Worms. And then Dark World started in 2011. Worms started in 2009. So that gives you the calendar.
For sure. And was there a distinct moment when you like started to get into rap or like?
Well, we were Me and Lucas were into rap the whole time. We were actually making rap the whole time.
Yeah.
But like I said, maybe we weren't taking it seriously as much, or
it wasn't your main focus. You're like,
yeah. But I had like I mean, I'm sure you've seen Buckets of Honey. Have you seen that little kid
yeah,
video?
that was
like,
classic.
That was me in 6th grade, and then we started to do some rap like when I was like in 7th and 8th grade, and Lucas was in 8th and 9th grade. That was like we were really taking ourselves seriously. It's called Jurassic Fight Club. That's like not online anywhere.
No. Well, if you haven't,
or Lucas actually started uploading it.
If you haven't seen Buckets of Honey, make sure you go do that. Some classics.
Make sure you do it. He's pointing.
Some classic. Yeah, pointing at the camera. You already know. The little.
But yeah, Jurassic Fight Club was me, Lucas, and Abby Weems.
Nice.
We were, making some indie rap, you could say. It was fun. And then that was me and Lucas both were rapping then, and that was like 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And, eventually we carved our sound.
For sure. And I'm curious, like, how do you think your like experience, your musical background influence your rap? I think a lot of people, when they go into rap, it's because they don't have any experience with music, and that's like the easiest thing to get started with. But I'm curious, like, how having that background you feel like influences your rap music.
I think it influences it in every way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's in every way. It's just, I guess, any type of musicality I have carries over to there, and then also aspects of performing or aspects of being an artist, like publicly. Mm-hmm. That helps. Like I'm used to being someone who's been in a band on a stage, being judged, being judged by whoever. So I'm used to that when it comes to rapping too. It's like people are watching you, judging you. It's the same thing as being in a band, so that carries over 100%.
Yeah, so like that stage presence. I think a lot of times when people start rapping, also it's like in a basement somewhere or something, and they like, you might spend all your time recording, but like a lot of people have never done shows, or they when they first did their
the
shows.
new wave. That's not how hip hop really started.
Of course not. Of course not.
What's cool about it is that there were a lot of, historically, there have been a lot of rappers that were never recorded at all. They're just people who would rap in front of other people.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I think these days lots of people are just rapping and recording. And I think that's also another thing for me. It's similar because my instrument is kind of I use the software a lot as like a kind of like my like. For making my songs, doing my songs, I just what I'm trying to say is I do a lot of production. Like I work on my shit a lot, and it's less. I mean, I definitely work on my lyrics a lot, but it's like it doesn't flow out of me as much as maybe some other people. Everything I do, like I said, like it's all similar to me. Like I do things in big projects.
For sure.
So I'll work on a song like for a year, literally. Like I'll just like record like the first half of the first verse, and then like 2 months later finish that verse, and then 2 months later do the chorus, and then I'm just so weird about it. I don't know why.
That's crazy.
But that's how I do a lot of shit. So it doesn't like flow out of me, there's nothing I like more than working with other people who it just flows out of them, and I can produce around them. Like all my friends Eric and Lucas, they both just do that, and a lot of other people. I love working with people like that, but I don't really work like that as a rapper. I don't really. Sometimes I do.
When you are recording, do you find that the production normally comes first, or the rapping, or is it a little,
What do you
like? Do you normally like? Will you make a beat and then you're like, oh, then rap over it, or like do the lyrics come first? And like what tends to happen first?
Everything, man. Just everything. I'll make a beat. Yeah. And then I'll write to it, or I'll make a beat. A lot of times I'll make a beat and have someone else in mind for it, and then we'll do it. So I'll be like, this is so Lucas, and Lucas will be like, this is so me, and I'm like, exactly. Or I'll make one, and I'm like, this is so, like, just, I don't know, whoever.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll write a whole song, a whole like bunch of bars for one song, and then be like, and then hear another beat and be like, this actually, like, I can use that verse or this beat way better.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I actually will freestyle stuff, and other people, I don't know. Like I said, just everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't do anything any one way, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just curious. Some people like have a set way, but I'm just
curious. Sometimes I'll have like a chorus in mind or like an idea, and it'll be like, okay, I gotta find the beat that fits that idea, tempo wise, vibe wise, and then I'll flesh out the whole song around it.
For sure. And I'm also curious because I think that I ask every artist this, like their inspirations, influences. I think a lot of people have things you wouldn't expect, so I'm just curious.
Same. I'm just all over the map, man. I don't listen to any one kind of music, and like I said, for me, it's even weirder because I feel really just trippy about how media is all, like, content is all really interweaved.
Yeah.
So, I get influenced to make a song by a picture, or, you know what I'm saying?
Or like I
love lots of music, rock music, jazz, rap, and, instrumental stuff, soundtracks, classical music, scores, like,
if you had to,
lots
like,
of stuff.
Not like your top 10, but if you had to, like, off the top of your head, if you had to say like five things,
Five artists,
influence, just like, it doesn't have to be musical artists, but just influences. What would you say?
I don't know. I'll do artists.
All right, yeah, that works. Artist works.
Like in music, like, I don't know. I mean, I say a lot of some of my classics are the same as Lucas, because so I'm sure you've heard some of these answers before. Maybe not. Now these are more predictable. Lucas has had interviews that were similar, but Lil Wayne, Green Day. Green Day is like my favorite band.
Oh, word, yeah.
I also love Enya. Go
for
figure.
Sure.
But Chet Baker.
Okay, yeah.
The Beach Boys. These are all like my number ones. Like, these are the ones I would call my number one.
There you go.
Like Beach Boys, Chet Baker, Green Day.
Yeah. I remember the American Idiot days when we were in middle school.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. A lot more.
I remember, I think that was like the first time I had like heard music with cursing in it, and I was like, oh, they're so badass.
I know.
They said
It's so
like once.
I was thinking about that, how like now, like,
that was like 5th grade.
because think about, I was in 5th grade or 6th grade, and American Idiot came out in 2004, so I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. But I was like hearing them saying like whatever, like doing someone else's cocaine or whatever. It was like, oh shit, like this is edgy, you know what I mean? But now 5th, 6th graders are listening to hip hop, got a little pump. Everyone is saying, I'll go put my dick in the throat. Whoa, I did jizz in your mouth. Whoa, like,
yeah, it's like nothing.
Like talking about the craziest shit ever. It's just shocking. I had like
Day
a revelation.
maybe like said fuck like once or twice.
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking. I was like, damn. When I was younger, I was listening to Green Day, and I was like, this is risque. Fuck yeah, like this is sick. Like this is like swears and rebellious. And now it's just on another level. I can't even imagine what it's like. It's just so different.
For sure. It's next
funny.
level.
Yeah, it's funny that we're so old now. What the fuck?
It's funny to be like this young and like look back at things.
You're also 22.
Old. Yep.
Yeah, 22.
Yep. Young boys over here. But it's funny to look back now, and like think about like artists that came out, and you realize like they came out 10 years ago or something like that, and you're like, that didn't feel that long ago.
Yeah,
like,
fully.
So like I said, you went to school at Emerson in Boston, and did you go for video production specifically, or
no? I didn't do video production.
Okay.
I actually didn't even. I mean, I did video stuff there, but I actually didn't even take any editing classes or anything.
No?
at Emerson. I was a sound major. Fully.
Okay.
So all sound design, audio post production.
Okay.
And there's some other like general film stuff I did, but
for sure. I didn't know if the Monkey Room was something that you did completely independently, or you did as like a final
it was pretty much
or something?
It was independent from it was a production we did that was like, doing it through the school was one way we could have pulled it off, but we were also considering doing public access studios and other stuff, so it was like something we were doing.
You were using the resources
we wanted to do. Exactly. And then the school, we ended up like making a really big like pitch packet with our producers and stuff to the school so that they would to try to get money, and we got $1,000 and the studio space. So we're like, fuck it, let's do it. And we spent that all on the masks at the end.
For sure.
I don't know if you saw the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing for sure.
Okay,
for those that don't know, I mean, you might as well explain it.
Sure.
You probably
me and my friend Will just made like a short web series. Like took a long time, but it's pretty short. Called The Monkey Room, just for fun. That's the thing about it that's confusing. Most people are like, what is this? Like, why does it exist? Like, what's it for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we weren't planning on it being on the Dark World page at first. It wasn't like the plan.
Yeah.
And then we realized, I was like, this is Dark World. Like,
This is a website. Yeah.
this is fully, like, should be on the Dark World site, the Dark World channel. So we were like, so then when we realized that, we started putting more Dark World beats and stuff in it. And, I guess that gives it a little context, because if we didn't drop it on Dark World, people would have been like, what is this? But because it's on Dark World, people were like, oh, well,
Yeah.
it's some Dark World related thing.
I
Like,
kind of just assumed it might have been
helps
like
them wrap their mind
a
around it.
senior thesis type of project. or
no, it
something
wasn't.
Like that.
It was literally not for any class or anything. No,
It was just-
not.
it
It
was
was something
just
we
for
were
the sake
trying.
of
We
doing
wanted
it.
to do. Yeah,
There you go.
purely.
I didn't know if it was like a combination of both, but
Well, obviously, I wanted to do it, but no, it wasn't for a class or anything. I should have been.
yeah, honestly, super funny, super random. It's like, it reminded me of like, I mean, people are gonna flame me for this, but I don't really find the Eric Andre show that funny. But it reminded me of like the randomness of the Eric Andre show, but like funnier.
Sick.
So-
I think Eric Andre's amazing.
Well, I
we're
think there's elements that are
definitely
really
different.
funny, but other parts I'm just like, it's just awkward for the sake of awkwardness, you know?
Yeah, it's so funny though. He's next level.
There's some good elements to it, you know. No diss to Eric Andre for sure.
I think he's amazing.
But yeah, super funny show, The Monkey Room. If you haven't, go check that out. And
Milak.
yeah, and I liked how like I remember there was elements where like I guess you guys did a road trip and that was like incorporated
Yeah.
the footage from that. I
Yeah.
felt like that was some of the funniest moments.
Cool. Thank
with
you.
the
man.
dogs.
Yeah, that was all real stuff. If anyone's
Yeah.
wondering, that's real footage.
For sure, for
I
sure.
brought my VHS camera, or no, most of that was shot. Yeah, I brought my VHS camera, and then also Will had a little like classic little camcorder.
Mm-hmm. For sure,
Good stuff. That was insane.
for sure.
It actually turned. We dropped it on New Year's last New Year, so it turned 1 year old.
Yeah,
like, just now.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
A lot.
A lot. Now, getting to your music, I think that like there's a couple things that really like resonate when I listen to it, and one thing I've noticed is like you have a lot of obscure references to like very specific things, you know, like shows and like I mean I feel like there's always in hip hop there's a history of like MF Doom, all these people talking about cartoons and stuff like that. But like I don't know, I feel like you have very specific references to like Spirited Away. I thought was a very unique reference.
What did I say?
Um,
Oh, just the name of the song. I forgot.
just using that.
Spirited
Yeah,
Away.
yeah.
Like you got that though, like American Spirits. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of, I said one more spliff
from
and Spirited Away.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Too many spliffs.
And one thing that always really made one of my favorite lines from you was 6 deep in the Chevy coupe, looking good like Betty Boop. And like the way you deliver that was like the hardest. It was the hardest line ever. I was like, looking good like Betty Boop. I was like, that's a great delivery. And I said that once, and my mom was like, it was the funniest thing. My mom walked in the room. She's like, I want to look good like Betty Boop. She was fucking with it.
Sick.
So Mama Toast seal of approval.
Fire. Like,
And even when you're using like sports references, obviously you got the Boston sports references, but some of them are like more obscure. I was gonna say, I'm making up words. More obscure. Like I don't think that many people are shouting out. Like obviously the LeBrons, the Kobe's, but like you know, making a song called Chris Wilcox. It's like who's like paying tribute to Chris Wilcox?
did you look that up, or did you know who he was?
Oh, I know. No, I'm like I used to be really into sports, so I'm aware. But it's
So
like
you know some of the references. You
yeah,
know
no,
Chris
I get the
Wilcox?
references, but I'm just like that. You know, obviously the rapper sports comparison is always there, and like people put like referencing people like their city or whatever. But it's like it's interesting to just be like shout out a player that like no one,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about it. It's just it's all about making those small connections that resonate with people, because it's like if you do know Chris Wilcox, you're like what, and you remember the song because it's like Chris Wilcox.
Yeah, it's like who's rapping about Chris Wilcox?
There's some other ones though. I don't know if you picked up on other ones me and Lucas have done, man. There's been
Yeah, I
some
mean, I
funny-
feel like there's other ones. I meant to literally just sit down and listen to all your music today, but like I got through like Ancient Alien and
Nice.
and Dana Man, but
Yeah, I think there's some other ones for sure.
There's
I said
definitely are
like
some.
there's a bunch that aren't released too. Definitely, Lucas has said some crazy ones.
for sure, for sure.
I wish I could remember some.
Or some, I don't know, you say some stuff that I was like, I don't know how you'd even think to say that. Like, oh, can't wait for the future mass, legal Weedles in the Google Glass, robo doggies in the poodle. I don't know what the word was you said after poodle.
Poodle class.
Poodle class.
Robo
okay.
doggies
in the poodle
class.
Okay, that's
yeah.
poodle class power laces on my Puma straps. And just like, what? You say that and you're just like, what? What? But it's fire.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like I mean, all of Dark World, but specifically you have a way of like kind of creating terminology that's really catchy and can stick. Like, I don't know, swerve, 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 and park the whipples. Like, I find myself saying whipples a lot.
Well, hopefully the idea is that'll carry on into the rest of your language. It's not just the whipples, but the Michaels as well.
Yeah,
you know,
everything.
The Michaels, arts and crafts. Hello.
Yeah, a lot. I find myself saying I like that a lot, like
You
all
say it
the
a lot.
time, a lot. Even when I'm like, I catch myself, I'm like, I can't stop saying it.
It's pretty contagious stuff, man.
Yeah,
A lot.
and I
whole
think
lot.
there's like a skill in that is creating like something that's contagious yet simplistic that can catch on, and like,
Yeah.
you know, it might be just some dumb shit, but you know,
Usually
it's
is
some
dumb shit.
good shit.
A lot.
Now, I also want to touch on. You did some shit for Fender recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some big shit. How'd that come about?
Well, it was like a fake infomercial for Fender. So Fender came to like a bunch of artists that they liked or they had some type of relationship with to like make some videos.
Yeah.
And so essentially it was like they had creative reign over it. So one of the groups that Fender came to was the whole We Did It collective, and Shlomo, I guess. I don't know if you know Shlomo, but he does a lot of like guitar in his like beats and shit. He like plays live, and
He does some stuff with Spooky Black or Corbin, right?
yeah. I think he produced the whole album with Deej,
Yeah.
the new one. But he uses guitars in his music a lot, so they came to them to do this project, and then they came to me for just the post production. And it's really funny. Me and Nick, who's the head of We Did It, essentially, him and I he like directed it, and him and I just went over the whole post production, did all the sound design, did the whole edit, and then had like a grueling back and forth with Fender trying to cut it down. And there's certain things I didn't want to budge on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we wanted to just keep it really funny. There's a lot of good stuff we cut though, just to make it down in length. But
Yeah.
that was fun. Like I said, just We Did It brought me on. I just know them through music and through Lucas and through, I guess they've been, Nick had been looking at my editing and shit for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
So they just brought me on, and it was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun a lot.
A lot. And another thing I want to touch on, like you said, like you said, you do a little bit of everything, and you actually were doing like a soundtrack for a video game in China. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the story behind that?
So yeah, I was doing a soundtrack and so the score and and then also all the sound for a video game, and Beijing-based company called Phantom is real, and the game's called Phantom. It's a really cool game, had a lot of potential, and then it had a lot of hype in the Chinese scene, and then it was just too hyped up, and it didn't necessarily. I mean, it came out and it still happened, but it didn't really live up to the hype that people had wanted from it. Hopefully the main president of that company and stuff, can put something else together. It was really cool. And then now I'm working for another company.
Oh, awesome.
And that's from Chengdu, which is a really cool city that's not Beijing. And this one I'm just doing the sound for, so not the music. It's like a virtual reality game.
For sure.
And me and my girlfriend are both doing that together.
That's dope.
How, and her name's How, and we've been doing all these jobs together. We met actually in sound class in Emerson. But now we're doing a lot of work together, and she's Chinese, and that's how I ended up getting this first gig. And it was like a friend of a friend of a friend, and then like us applying and getting that job, and then now that's led to more. So
that's dope.
It's awesome. Just I love video games, so
yeah, for
it's
sure.
fun to work on them.
For sure. It's funny. It's like I'm sure you never expected to be doing scores. Oh, I don't know if you expected to do scores for video games, but like
it's definitely always a dream. It's always something I wanted to do, so it's cool that I'm doing it.
Yeah. and it's I don't know. I just think it's interesting how you can arrive at certain things.
Yeah,
Even when it's not like a set plan. So,
totally.
Let's see. I have a couple other quick things. I guess like what can we expect next from Weird Dane? Got any projects in the works?
Yeah, I've got a lot in the works. Probably the thing I'm most excited about right now is this album that me and How are doing. It's like both of our vocals and both of our production. Like it's just us collaborating in every way. And then, she's gonna go by Lee Howe.
Okay.
We've only released like 2 songs from that album actually on my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
But they're just getting better and better, and they're so cool. And she's got a bunch of other music she's working on too that's gonna be really cool. We're gonna release like all that through Dark World, and then me and Eric are now working on. We have 2 tapes working on. One is like us rapping, and a lot of like other people's beats, and some of mine, some of Eric's, and then we've got this other project that's like that we just started working on. That's like full on kind of like EDM tracks with Eric, like going awesome, crazy, and me auto tuning is just like making crazy auto tune EDM, freaking radio bangers
For sure.
and
I'm looking forward to that.
And then I got my tape. It's called Massachusetts. It's my next one, and it's like it's getting there. I'd say it's like halfway done.
Nice.
And that's gonna be cool. It's my favorite music that I made so far. I always say that when I don't want to drop it unless it is.
Yeah,
my favorite.
always getting better. Always evolving.
Hopefully. And then I've got a lot of other projects, man. To be honest, I've got a lot of videos, just like a whole lot of videos right now that need to get edited. I have like somewhere between like 9 and 15 like videos that need an edit.
Is that all? Is that a lot of Dark World shit, or is it more like
I'd say it's like 8 of those are Dark World videos, or like 7. Like the Sly C and Lucas, Eric videos. I have a Remy Martin, Eric video. It's going to be really incredible.
Remy Martin. That's the best song.
And it's like the best looking footage. Like it's going to be just insane.
And one of the things I always appreciated about the Dark World music videos is it's like, it would take, you could take a song that like, you might hear the song, you're like, whatever. And then you see the music video with the song and you're like, this is crazy.
It changes the song
and then
for you.
Yeah, it changes the song for you and you experience it. Every time you hear that song, you picture the music video.
They're
and
important,
you might watch that music video like 10 times because you're like, this is crazy.
Because the song, whether you like it or not, and whether you want this to be true or not, how you listen to the song or perceive the song is affected by the whole package, especially with hip hop these days. So it's like, I feel like we're moving towards that more than we've ever been.
For sure.
It's like it's like eating organic food, It's like you want to like where it's coming from.
Yeah. For sure.
Totally.
Well, once again, Dana, thanks so much for coming in the studio. Really appreciate it. Do you have any new anything dropping soon people should look out for?
Yeah, it's funny. Every time you ask, I'm like, there's just so much going on.
There's just so much going on that you can't think of one thing.
Yeah, there's some videos coming out. Like I said, the big Dark World stuff to look out for is Sly C shit, Lucas shit. I have a video. I should have let you know this also. A video for Like That, which is a track with me and Jimmy and Reason.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
We got a video for that Jabari shot and Evan also shot. And if you know Evan Carson.
Yeah, for sure.
Video from both of them for Like That, which is gonna be sick. Me, Reason, Jimmy. It's all in Boston. It's like a couple months old. Any of the videos that are mine are like less. I like work on them slower because no one's yelling at me to
there's no deadline.
Them. Yeah, exactly.
All the deadlines in your head.
So it's old footage, but it's gonna be sick. That's why I forgot about it.
Okay, word. All right.
A lot. Yeah,
thanks so much.
Thanks
a
for
lot.
having me, Toast.
I really like it a lot.
A lot.
Hip hop made me do it. DJ Toasty Z.
DJ Toasty Z.
Weird Dane in the cut.
A lot.
Turn it up. All right.
Fire.
Hit me up and so I'm walking over. Baby girl, we gotta talk it over. I dance on haters like I'm bossing over. I'm full grown, you are walking over. And I can't wait for the future mask. Legal Weedles in the Google glass. Robo doggies in the poodle glass. Powered laces on my Puma straps. In this dark world, what you praying for? Don't ask where I've been, swear you can't go. Watch the way I move, I feel like Rango. Plus I'm freaking, I look double rainbow. I just wanna talk about the pesos.
Mila.